What is up YouTube, my name is Alpha Being and today we're gonna be looking at a melodic dubstep slash future bass kind of track that I made. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so for this track I was kinda going for an ILLENIUM vibe.
It was like, I bought Ableton the next day.
So the first step for a track like this is try to get some chords and guitar going, but in my case I do not know how to play a guitar, so I'm gonna use a VST, something out of Kontakt, or you can use anything basically, and then bounce it into audio. So the intro guitar goes something like this. Alright, after that we have some piano right here. I don't know why I named it electric piano. I think initially I wanted to use an electric piano, but I ended up using a normal piano anyways. So here's what the chords sound like. And then right below it I have sub bass layer and a respace with a filter automation, which kind of like changes the timbre of the bass, kind of like this. Let me show you. Something like that, and that's layered with the sub bass. It sounds like this. All together to sound like this. Alright, so that's pretty much the intro for the next 8 bars. And then we have the break, in which the drums start kind of like this. Since we're going for like an ILLENIUM style, I wanted to use some semi-acoustic drums. And then we have some percussion, sounds like this. And then we have some crashes. And then we have some hi-hats, and I have like a clock ticking sound right here, which sounds like this. And it also has some reverb and delay on it. So all together, it should sound like this. Alright, so after 4 bars, I wanted something new to happen. So I added a counter melody, which sounds like this on its own. I know it doesn't make sense like on its own, but with the guitar melody and the chords and the bass, it makes a lot of sense. Check this out. Okay, so the next part is the build-up. The only thing that I continue from the break is the electric piano. No, why do I keep saying electric? It's just a normal piano. Alright, the guitar arp sounds like this. And then the generic EDM chords. And then we have the piano. And over here I ditched the sub bass because we have a lot of elements that they're about to be introduced in the build-up, so we don't want it to clash and sound too muddy. So all I have is this respace along with everything else. And then the next part of the build-up, we have everything else going on here in addition to some toms. So I made this tom loop here. I know it sounds like very like cinematic, but it makes sense with the whole track. And then we have a clap. Then we have like a snare that's like way behind, like in the mix. Sounds like this. And then yeah, we have some more effects that like lead into the second part of the build-up right here. Some impacts. And yeah, so about the EDM chords, goes kind of like this. Keeps opening as the filter keeps opening. And then at the end, also we have a reverb wash up that kind of makes it sound huge by the end of it. So okay, at the end of the build up, we have a tom loop, which kind of sounds like this right before the drop starts. So you can imagine how it goes into the drop. All right, let's get into the next part, which is the drop. All right, so we're in the drop right now. So the first thing we're gonna do is, you already know, we're gonna make some saw stacks, which are gonna sound fucking amazing, by the way. These are probably like the best saw stacks that I've made till date, I guess. You be the judge. All right, so the chord stacks kind of sound like this. All right, doesn't sound that impressive right now, but we have a lot of layers in here. Let me explain the saws first, and then I'll get into the bass and the lead sounds. All right, so for the saws, we have 4 layers. A layer of Harmer, a layer of JP6 K, a layer of Massive, and a layer of Serum. These all sound like very different from each other, but kind of similar. Let me show you guys how it sounds. The Harmer patch sounds like this. The JP6 K patch sounds like this. The Massive patch sounds like this. And then the Serum patch sounds something like this. All together, it sounds like this. That makes a lot of difference. All right, the next thing is we're gonna get into the leads. This we have 3 layers of leads, by the way, which sound like this. The first layer sounds like this. The second layer sounds like this. And the third layer sounds like this. So all together, the leads sound like this, which makes a lot of difference when you combine that with the saw stacks earlier. Let me show you right here. So it sounds like this. Oh, did you listen to that? Now that's what I call a saw stack. But wait, we have a lot more going on here. The next thing, the next like important thing is of course the bass. So we have 3 layers of bass, 2 layers of mid bass, and 1 layer of sub bass. So the first mid bass sounds like this, and the second mid bass sounds like this, and then a straight up sine wave, which is a sub bass. And all together, the bass, all the basses together should sound like this. And when you play all of this together, it makes hell lot of difference. Check this out.
Wait, what the fuck?
Alright, I'm sorry. I think I muted it somewhere. Check this out. Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Alright. And then I put all the leads into one mixer channel right here. It's a lead bus. I did the same with all the three. The saw layers, the bass layers, and the lead bus. And then I added a huge reverb to it, and then I did this automation right here. So the reverb is gonna be active when it's playing, and then right when it cuts off here, the reverb is gonna cut off entirely. Check this out. See that? Without that, it kind of like makes everything muddy. I mean, it sounds cool, but when it comes to a mix down perspective, I think it makes it muddy. So I just you know, removed it because we have other elements in that gap. All right, so the next element here is, of course, vocal chops. So I think I took Cymatics vocal, you know, vocal chop, and like chopped it around and messed around with it, and I created this, which sounds fucking awesome, by the way. And for the second half of the drop, I pretty much just pitched the vocal chops down and then pitched some parts up and down, so it's like a little random. So it sounds like this, the second half of the vocal chops. And yeah, I did the same like reverb and delay trick right here with the automation, and then it cuts off. I know there's still some vocal chops here, but I kind of like, I ran the whole vocal chop through heavy distortion, so I kind of like that gritty vibe, so I wanted to remove the reverb in this part. Kind of gives that gritty feel. At the and then I also like have some volume automation going on here. Because there's a lot of elements here, I had to bring the vocal chops up with some automation right here, and then dip it down right here because there's no other elements, and it's gonna sound like really harsh. So it sounds like this. Alright, now the next and most important part of... Oh, also I forgot to tell you, I took the vocal chops and put it in the build-up part and had the filter open gradually, so you're giving the audience a glimpse of what's gonna come. All right, it sounds like this. The filter slowly opens. And the next part, and the most important part, is the drop drums. Alright, let me show you the drums. So the drums are pretty simple. I didn't do anything you know, major, because we already have a lot of elements going on in the drop. I added elements wherever it would make sense for it to be. So I added a kick, which sounds like this. And then I added a snare. I also reversed the snare every alternate hit, so it has some variation. Sounds like this. And then I added another kind of a glitchy snare right below the original snare, and it sounds like this. Together, both the snares sound like this. See that? And then I added some percussion right here, which is kind of like a random, like glitchy sound, which sounds like this. And then we have it layered with the kick, sounds really good like this. And then we have some crashes right here. And then we have some open hi-hats right here. And we have some more like cymbal, like top loops down here. At the end of the loop, we have tom fills. It sound like this. Sound like this. Also, I added a little like glitchy like effects thing way back in the background, so it's kind of like this little like ear candy. It's like it's like tickling your ears. Sounds like this. Altogether, the drop sounds like this. Oh my god, did you look at that? My fucking CPU can't handle it. I really need to upgrade my PC. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna play the whole track for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the track. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, give me some ideas on what you want me to do for my next video. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. I'll probably end up releasing this track sometime in the future, so you really want to be there for that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And now I'm gonna play the track for you guys, and here we go.